What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by Galadon Gaming. Yes, it is Clash Royale action, and the Royal Giant being outplayed by players using the Miner. And okay, so I interject a little bit of my personal opinion into these episodes, and I'm not a fan of the Royal Giant. It annoys me to no end, so I was more than happy to show some replays where guys are using the Miner to outplay the Giant, and not specifically a Miner versus Giant, obviously, but a Giant deck versus a Miner-based deck, and that's exactly what we are seeing right here. Now, right away, you can see that this opponent has an Inferno Tower, and that is simply just not going to trade well against a Miner deck. Right there, you can see Matt using just a regular set of minions to get to that tower as it's being distracted by the Miner, while he counteracted the Giant on the left-hand side. The Mini Pekka, one of the ideal cards for countering a Royal Giant. It is going to get a couple of shots off on your tower, but there you can see the trade in hit points to damage done was positive on Matt's side. He is nearly 1,000 hit points ahead, and now his Princess all by herself is going to get a few shots off and take that tower down to under 800. The Bomber easily countered by the minions right there. Another Princess comes out, but the Miner goes to work, takes the Princess out, and then more hit points off the tower. So right here, Matt putting on a clinic about how to counter individual cards, one after the other after the other. Here goes another Royal Giant, easily taken down by the Mini Pekka and Spear Goblins. They move on after the tower, and the Mini Pekka does get one shot off on the tower. And now that the tower was distracted by the Mini Pekka, the Goblins get to work on that tower, and that tower on the left also severely damaged. Matt looking really good right now, getting close to double elixir and having done severe damage on both towers. It looks like Matt swings both ways. No, I mean plays for either team. No, I mean can go after either tower, and he chooses to send out the Miner down the right-hand side, minions down the left, and both units getting more damage on the towers, and it's almost like Matt is trying to take both towers down as equally as possible. They're both down to almost the exact same number of hit points. There we go, both in the 300s. Another Royal Giant moving in. The stun from the zap works really well right there. The Mini Pekka gets right in on the Royal Giant. Royal Giant down. Another Miner as the small units move in, but they are effectively countered this time before they can quite finish off the tower. But check it out. Both towers are double-digit hit points. Now, obviously, it looks like Matt may lose his left tower, but such a huge advantage right here to have both of these towers less than a zap spell away from going down. So Matt grabs one with the Miner. He loses one with the Royal Giant, but as we're into the last 10 seconds of the battle, just one spear is going to do the trick. One zap spell, one anything. He goes with a dramatic lightning spell, and as time counts down, Matt outplays the Royal Giant and takes the victory 2 crowns to 1. And did I mention Matt likes to put on clinics? He was sharing replay after replay after replay, taking out players that were using the Royal Giant, his personal least favorite card, I imagine. And right here, look at this, a higher level player, but the higher level player is also using a Miner. So a Miner Royal Giant deck, pretty unusual. And once again, right off the bat, the opponent leading with the Royal Giant and Matt countering with the Mini Pekka. However, things are not going to go quite as smoothly for Matt in this battle as the last, as he does get a good push going here, but the Barbarians do an effective job of stopping both the Mini Pekka and the minions as they move in while that tower was momentarily distracted. And as the push ends, he's only going to get a few hundred hit points out of that tower with the last minion. And check out the legendary lineup of his opponent. He's got 3 legendary cards in his hand right there. And Matt, he seems to love the crying face. I'll have to ask him specifically what he means when he drops that, because he seems to put it out there at kind of random times during the battle. All right, another Royal Giant. This one is going to get countered by a Mini Pekka once again. And check out the Princess. She is deployed right lane, but is going to defend left lane before she moves on down the right. There goes a Miner once again. Beautiful zap spell, and this time they get to the tower, and the tower is gone in just a couple of seconds. That is the beauty of the Miner Mini Pekka deck. Just one singular push, if done correctly and not countered correctly, can lead to the complete destruction of a tower. And not only that, Matt took that King's Tower down to just about 50%. So this player not happy with the situation that they're in right here and counting on trying to come back, but Matt is keeping the pressure on. And I would say that is one of the biggest keys to success with a miner-based deck is fast-paced play, keeping the pressure on your opponent. Because of the low elixir cost of the miner, you're not playing the big giant tank cards, the Lava Hound, the Giant, the Royal Giant, the Golem, Pekka. You're playing faster, small cards, so you're cycling through your cards so quickly, it really keeps you on your toes. A, you have to be able to keep the pressure on, but B, you've got to be able to react quickly and with the right cards. And despite the mini Pekka counter, the Royal Giant ties the score with 40 seconds remaining in the battle, but another big push down the right lane takes the other tower out. So almost like Matt was trading, he was ahead 1-0, he was willing to trade to go to 2-1, and now putting heavy pressure on the King's Tower. That is going to keep his opponent on his heels, and that means he will never be able to put together another solid Royal Giant push. This game is over even with 20 seconds remaining. You know there's no way this opponent is going to get to a tower. It is all over. The Royal Giant goes down, goes after the King's Tower, but it's not going to happen. It's just a matter of whether this is going to be a 2 or a 3 crown victory for Matt. And as time runs out, it looks like it's just going to be 2, but a good effort, a solid job countering another Royal Giant player. And Matt dropping the crying face once again. All right, let's move on to another replay. This one from B Rabbit, and you could say he's almost famous. He's been in a video before, and he is definitely not afraid of the Royal Giant deck facing William the Con. With a very unusual deck, he's got the Prince in his miner-based deck. And it's great to see the Prince. You don't see it that often at higher levels, but it can go berserk on other players. It is like the Superman of Clash Royale cards. And when played correctly, it can do a phenomenal job of taking out other troops like toy soldiers. Alright, so here comes William's Royal Giant along with a whole bunch of other troops. But right here you can tell that B Rabbit is showing guts over fear. He is going to take down that monster of a Royal Giant. And his opponent showing no love, going right at him with the Barbarians onto the tower right there. It seems like they are going to last forever. And by the time B Rabbit gets them down, you don't know how he is going to come back from such a big deficit. But here comes the miner moving in with support from the Barbarians. They are going to get to that tower as well, and it looks like he is going to do some catching up right here. The Princess working hard, but the Barbarians won't back down, and they will indeed get the tower down to give B Rabbit the 1-0 lead with 1:45 left in the battle. But you know that William is coming back, and this tower is less than a fireball away from going down. There indeed is the fireball, and that ties the score with 90 seconds remaining. And B Rabbit may have to clean out his closet to avoid losing himself in order to grab a tower and take the victory in this match. Now, losing a tower that quickly to a higher level player, personally, it would leave me talking to myself, but that's just the way I am. B Rabbit, he prefers the Cinderella story. Some might even call him the Cinderella Man. Now, surprisingly, as we get down to the last 60 seconds of this battle, both players are pushing hard down the left lane where the towers have already fallen. Here comes the Prince. Once again, a great charge on the Royal Giant right there, and that is going to ensure that the Royal Giant doesn't get a lot of damage done. It looked like the Royal Giant turned to William and said, "You're going to have to do this one without me." So we're down into the final minute of this battle, and nobody has made any progress down the right lane. It looks like this might be a 3-crown twin princes moving in on the King's Tower. B Rabbit making some major progress, and quickly he has gotten that King's Tower down to just over 700 hit points. He is ready to send that King's Tower spacebound. With just one more push, he should grab the 3-crown win. But you know, William the Con is not going to stand for this. He is going to do his best to stop that push. Here comes the fireball, taking out all sorts of units. 15 seconds remain, and B Rabbit with his last big push coming down after the King's Tower. He looks like he might have it, and right there, WTP, way to play, B Rabbit. Who said kings never die? Because B Rabbit wins this one 10 versus 11 and doesn't have to walk away with a guilty conscience. So there you have it, you guys, the Royal Giant being outplayed by minor decks. Hope you guys enjoyed those replays, especially that last battle. I'm curious if anybody knows the exact number of references, if you know what I'm talking about, in that last battle replay. So thank you guys, as always, for sticking around all the way to the end of this episode. Catch you next time for more full attacks.
Galadon, watching one of your episodes is like a 25 to life sentence. Makes me want to crack a bottle.